Hello and welcome. This is Mr. Yaggy. We're going to talk about our Italy trip. I'm excited to see so many people interested in it, and I want to give you a little snippet. I'm going to try to keep this brief, although, of course, there's just I could go on and on about everything that we're going to do and see on this trip in June of 2022. But I'll try to keep it short and to the point. And hopefully, what this will do is give you some content about which you can sort of think through and come up with some questions to ask me. And hopefully, join us on 2022. We'll have hopefully a big group of 30. Have our own private tour with the company Explorica, and you can see the website here, the explorica.com/Yaggy, and then our group ID number is 2535, and so you can go to that and check out our tour spot. So our our itinerary from the company Explorica is Città Eterna, the eternal city, essentially. And so most of our trip will be in Rome, although we're going to go to Pompeii and Sorrento and Capri and Naples and Vatican City, of course, right there next to or in Rome, really. And the dates right now are June 16th through the 25th, and those will move almost certainly by a day or two, and it really all just comes down to about 4 months or 3 months ahead of time when they actually book the plane flights and they can book our hotel rooms. Okay. You might be wondering, gosh, I'm looking at this presentation from this teacher, and he's wearing a University of Georgia hat. Well, I've done this on purpose because after doing this several times, you pick up these little tips and tricks. And one of them is, now I wear this hat a lot, but one of the reasons that I always wear this hat when we are on tour, and so you'll see it in a bunch of pictures, is that I'm really easy to spot in Rome. I look like a tourist. You're going to look like a tourist too. There's no way to hide it. But this red Georgia hat is really easy to spot, and that comes in very handy. So let's take a look. This is basically our itinerary. So we're going to fly into Rome and be in Rome for a couple days, go to Vatican, and then we're going to go to the outskirts of Rome, Ostia Antica. So Ostia is the port city of Rome. It's at 30 miles, and it's on the coast there. We're going to go see Hadrian's Villa and Villa d'Este, which is absolutely gorgeous, but just nice to see the Italian countryside after spending some time inside the city of Rome. And then we're going to move way out and we're going to go to the Bay of Naples south and hit Sorrento. We're going to stay in Sorrento. We'll visit Capri, the Isle of Capri. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth. And we'll even get into that Mediterranean water and cool off, which will be very welcome after the hot summer days inside the city of Rome and around the city of Rome. Then the next day, the second day that we spend in Capri, we will go to Pompeii and the Naples Archaeological Museum on the way back to Rome then, and basically just sort of come back and spend another day walking around eating more gelato, because we're going to eat gelato no matter where we are, and some pizza. And then the next day we fly out. It's going to go quick, but it's 10 days, and I'm excited to spend it with some Basis Tucson North students. So I want to get the hard part out of the way, which is the payment. And until I win the lottery, everyone is going to have to pay their own way. And so the expected payment is about 4,400. It's a little over. I think it's 4,415 at the last I checked. And the reason that that fluctuates, although it doesn't fluctuate a lot, but the reason that fluctuates is simply that they're making a best guess, a best estimate on how much the plane flights will be and how much the hotels will be, and the going rates for the tours, all the tours that we're doing. Now they've done this a lot. They've been Explorica's been in business forever, so they know approximately how much these are, but they won't know until they book it. So about 4,400. The other big issue with our price is that I've booked a private tour, and what that means is that we're guaranteed our own tour. So no matter how many people we have, everything is under our control. Now, I've done this the other way too, and it's always worked out fine. But I've done this where we have kind of a smaller group, and so we are attached to a larger group, and we're sort of at their mercy in terms of how the itinerary plays out as we go, excursions and whatnot. And although, again, it's always been wonderful, and we've always met wonderful and new people, and everything's pretty democratic in the visits there. When you're attached to a larger group, well, rightfully they have the say. So this way we always have the say. And in fact, we might be joined by a couple of my teacher friends and their students to fill out a larger group of 30, 40, etc. So here's the reason why I'm saying this fluctuates. Our price 4,400 is based on 30 people in our private group. If there's less than 30, then there's a private group surcharge. And if we're talking 20 to 25 people instead of 30, it's not a big deal. It's another 60, $70. If we are really, really low, if we're 15 people, which I don't imagine we will be that small, then the surcharge can get to be pretty big. And if it gets closer to our tour date and it looks like our group is going to be small, then I will talk to Explorica and see about taking that private group tag off of us, and that would substantially decrease the amount of money there and bring it back to around $4,400. Nonetheless, you can sign up now for really just about $50, and the full payment isn't expected until pretty much a calendar year. So when they do actually start booking flights and they actually start booking hotels, this is about 3 or 4 months out, so about March. And so you've got quite a bit of time there to make those payments, and you can do monthly payments. There's insurance, all of this kind of thing. So the 4,400 or so pays for all of the really big costs, and that is the round trip airfare, the hotel stays. You get breakfast every day, you get dinner every day. The lunch is not paid for, and that's for the really simple reason that we're always sort of mid tour on things, and we generally split into smaller groups. Although this last tour we tried to do that, and we all just kept ending up at the same places, which was great because I think it spoke to how well everybody just got along and wanted to be together. But generally, the afternoon time is that free time where in groups, always with an adult in each group, you wander and you explore. And so that might just mean getting pizza, at the street shop there for a couple euro. But the tour director from Explorica stays with us 24/7, and so of course it pays their salary. And then when we go to sites, it pays for the site guides that are there. It pays for a bunch of other little tiny things that are sort of behind the scenes with Explorica. The one big thing that it doesn't pay for is that you you tip the driver of the bus and you tip the tour director, him or herself, and that's about $10 a day. And so that's an extra fee that we do need to pay for. Also, if we decide to go on an excursion, then that would come at a cost. And there's always little tiny things here or there. So the 4,400 pays for about 95% of it. So I'm going to run through just very quickly here again what our itinerary looks like, and I'm pulling on pictures that I took over the last 20 years. Really, I went to Italy the first time when I was 18 years old, and I was a senior in high school, or I just graduated high school, and I went with my Latin teacher. And so I'm always excited to do this with my own students. It feels full circle. I also spent a summer in Italy as a graduate student in 2007 with the University of Georgia, and so I got to know intimately and very thoroughly all of these sites that we're seeing, and that I draw on that almost every day in class, and certainly when we are in Italy. So day one, of course, we're going to leave out of Phoenix, the closest major airport, and we will probably stop off in Atlanta or Dallas or somewhere, and then take the international flight to Italy. When we get to Italy, we basically are just going to kind of get acquainted with the city. Usually, we go on a passeggiata, this kind of nighttime stroll or late afternoon stroll, but really just getting used to the city and probably getting some caffeine in us, maybe a little bit after that overnight flight. But we're all really glad always to get to Rome, and we'll kind of go by the Pantheon. We actually won't go in the Pantheon this time around. We'll come back in a day or so, but we're going to see all of the sites. So the Pantheon, here's the Spanish Steps. Here's Daniel Wogemuth, who came with us last time at the Spanish Steps, and the Trevi Fountain. And this is my group from 2019, or part of my group from 2019, in front of the Trevi, where we are all throwing coins in the fountain. We will also go to the Capitoline Museum, and the students, will be just amazed at the the attractions at the museum, the artwork, everything. But I have to tell you that my favorite is this picture of a man and his dog, and I always make my students go find it. I adore this picture, and I always take a picture of me with it every time I go. But the Capitoline Museum is just amazing, and there's so many wonderful works of art, statues, paintings, antiquities, relics, everything there. That's just wonderful. We will be eating gelato all the time. So these 20,000 steps that we'll take every day that will burn off, we will definitely replenish those calories with gelato and pizza. And so here's the Piazza Navona, which is a wonderful place to just sit around and eat some gelato and just people watch. It's a wonderful, wonderful area of Rome. We will go to the Palazzo Massimo, another amazing museum. I actually like it better than the Capitoline Museum. It's just amazing, and there's all of these again wonderful works of art here: the Augustus Pontifex Maximus, the Discobolus, the Boxer. Just it's endless, and they are really good about having these wonderful temporary exhibitions. So every time I go, even though this will be the eighth time I've gone, I think I always see things new at the Palazzo Massimo. It's a great museum. We will go to the Colosseum on the next day. This will be kind of our central uh, golden age Rome tour, day 4. So we'll go into the Colosseum, and then we will go to the Roman Forum and see everything there. And we will also pretty much end our day getting towards the end of the day because the Colosseum and the Roman Forum take a while, and they're amazing attractions. So we'll go to the Arapakis, and I've put a picture in inset here of me teaching. Now I'm not legally really allowed to lead. I'm not allowed. Not really. There's no really about it. I'm not allowed to lead tours, but the tour guides and the tour directors a lot of times will let me, knowing that I'm a Latin teacher and you are my Latin students, most of you, will us uh, let me kind of talk to my students in ways that will connect what I've been teaching my students to the things that we talk about. And one of the things that I love to talk about is the Arapakis. It's just an amazing monument. So we will also go in the Pantheon here. Here is the oculus of the Pantheon, and just amazing. Last time we were there, there was this choir performing, and it just echoed throughout. Absolutely gorgeous. And then the next day here, day 5, we'll go to the Vatican, and we will see a lot. So we will go into the Sistine Chapel. We will see St. Peter's Basilica here. Here's Petrum on the oculus there in St. Peter's Basilica. And then I love this picture of some of our. This is back in 2012, I think. And I just love this picture of everybody kind of looking up as the tour guide is talking about things inside the Vatican Museum. Last time I was there, we saw Dabo Swinney, who, if you're a college football fan, he's the Clemson head coach. He's won a couple national championships recently, and he was behind us in line, and I had my Georgia hat on. So, so I said hi to him, and he kind of went, "Uh huh," and we moved on. One of the best things is the Laocoon. Now you'll see, what is this O doing? I don't know if you recognize that from the movie Home, and this is the character O. But I always bring a mascot with us, and so you might see some random mascots in some of my pictures. But it makes a picture that I've taken a dozen times here of the Laocoon. It makes it unique and special to that group. So Vatican City is amazing, and we will spend a lot of time in there, including, of course, in all parts of it. But some parts you're not allowed to take any photos or anything. So leaving Vatican City, we will go and have some pizza, and it'll be a self not a self-taught, but it'll be a pizza where we make our own, and we are advised by the makers of the pizza there. So, and that was really really fun. So then we will go out of individual Rome here, and we'll go to Ostia, and we will go to Hadrian's Villa and Hadrian's Villa d'Este, and it is gorgeous, and it is definitely worth the kind of the outside extra advantage there. Really wonderful. In fact, on the left here, this is one of my college professors who is doing a unique experiment with a with in Ostia there. So here is Hadrian's Villa. I get attacked by a duck every time I go. I don't know why that is. This is one of my first time, and so there we see. And we will go to Sorrento and Capri, and this is just an amazing site. The water is amazing. We'll go around Capri, and we will also go up to see ancient villas and all sorts of things. And of course, we're going to have tons of pizza throughout. We always have to have tons of pizza. So we will go finally see Pompeii, and we will go see the Archaeological Museum of Naples there too. You can't see it very well, but this group of me and some old citizens here, some old Latin students, we are in front of Caecilius's house in Pompeii, which we should be able to go into this time. And we had the last time we had a wonderful guard taking us through Pompeii, a wonderful um, just incredibly knowledgeable site visit leader, and here we are listening to him in one of the stadia there. So going into the Naples Archaeological Museum, you'll see a wonderful, really wonderful paintings, drawings, statues, uh, artifacts, everything. So this is Alexander the Great here up in the top right. This is one of the river gods here in the bottom right, and then we just have some wonderful dog statues that I really like here. And this was our last mascot, this little I don't know, white and red sort of worm-looking thing. We go back to Rome, and the next day we'll leave. So it's kind of we're just wrapping up here, and so we will wander as much as we can, have as much as gelato as we can, and really just kind of take in the trip and just reflect. And it's a great time, even though we're all pretty tired at this point. In this picture on the right, this is one of my former students, Caitlin. She lives in Texas now, and we were at a shop where we could all try on these amazingly gorgeous leather jackets and everything. It was just really fun. She didn't buy it because it was like 500 euro. And here we go. This is Caitlin wishing she had the 500 euro at the ATM machine. Here's another Caitlin, the Caitlin that we're all familiar with, Caitlin Phillip at the Coliseum. And then outside the Coliseum, these guys are always here, and you can hang with them and dress up with them, and they'll look like you're stabbing you or you're stabbing them or something. And I love this picture. My students always have a contest somehow of how many steps they take, and so one student last time had over 23,000 steps on one day. It was pretty amazing. And of course, I just have to say we're going to eat a lot of pizza, we're going to eat a lot of gelato, and we'll probably burn it all off too. It's pretty amazing. And here we are at the Trevi Fountain, having a blast. I just love this picture, and I do hope that you join us in 2022. It sounds crazy to say that, but June of 2022 with Explorica. Everybody, take care.